crunch. That's the last thing my wife clearly remembers. The crunch sound her body made as her police cruiser wrapped itself around a telephone pole at high speed. The injury she sustained on that dark and rainy winter night caused years of challenges, including tears and frustration from losing control of her weight and nearly ending our marriage. Yet, as I'm about to reveal, that night also led to an astonishing discovery that allowed me to finally help my wife lose 23 pounds of unwanted fat and completely flatten even her stubborn lower belly fat after years of trying in only 21 days. And I want to share these 3 exciting secrets with you today, right here in this short video, so you can experience rapid weight loss without exercise. You'll also discover how me getting hit in the face with a cloud of pepper spray from a grenade revealed how big pharma hotshots like Martin Shkreli conspire to keep near magical weight loss compounds hidden from the public, because they're so cheap and easy to find that there's no profit in them. Yet one ancient spice in particular, that we'll talk about in a minute, has now been proven in hundreds of modern scientific studies to convert your body's bad fat into good fat that actually burns calories, allow you to enjoy rapid weight loss without side effects, reduce or reverse the underlying cause of type 2 diabetes, transform your metabolism from sugar burner to fat burner, increase testosterone in men, reduce your risk of developing life-threatening heart problems, boost your thyroid so you burn fat faster, improve your mood and concentration, renew and thicken your hair, making you look healthier, smooth and rejuvenate your skin so you look younger, and even improve your sex life. I'll tell you exactly how to use this ancient spice, and I'll give you all 3 simple tips my wife used to naturally lose 23 pounds in 21 days in just a minute. Just keep watching, okay? First, I have to confess I did not find these methods overnight. In fact, I spent years feeling powerless to help my wife. You see, I've devoted my life to service. Let me introduce myself. I'm Todd. I started my career as a soldier in a Canadian Army SSF and eventually finished as a SWAT team leader. Yet through that entire time, I was also fascinated with helping regular folks with their diets and exercise. I guess you could say I first became a personal trainer as my hobby, and I passionately spent hours researching and experimenting with the latest methods and protocols. However, after my wife recovered from her accident, I was left feeling like a failure. I knew she was upset about losing control of her weight, yet everything I tried just left me scratching my head. All the most up-to-date training and diet methods were failing her, and not a pound of weight would stay off, even if we managed to lose it temporarily. My wife grew frustrated to the point of despair, and every new diet she tried just seemed to make things worse, and even trigger borderline eating disorders. Sometimes she would feel so starved that her cravings would take over. She covered up her late-night binges and raids on the refrigerator, and I would find empty bags of Hershey Kisses wrappers hidden around the house. It cut me to the core. I could see how much pain she was in, and no matter how hard I looked for a solution, I seemed to be doing more harm than good. It got so bad, I started to fear for her life. She would completely break down at times and tell me how she hated herself, how the stubborn fat she gained after the accident made her feel ugly and useless, to the point that she was disgusted to even see herself in the mirror, and that she felt like part of herself died in that horrible crash. She didn't even want to see friends anymore because she felt like they must be talking about her behind her back, gossiping about how much weight she had gained. We ended up spending thousands of dollars looking for a solution, including years spent in counseling. Listen, most folks just suffer the same guilt, self-loathing, and self-doubt in silence, because anyone who has tried to lose weight and failed understands the pain. And if you've been there too, you understand at least part of what my wife was feeling. You see, she'd always been an athlete and played a bunch of sports in college. Then she entered the police force and lived a lean and active lifestyle. No, not all cops eat donuts and get fat. However, the accident seemed to come at the worst time. Exercise became pretty much impossible, and then things got worse. It seemed age and hormonal changes started catching up with her in her 40s, and the fat just piled on faster than ever, which is when her doctor stepped in with a serious warning. She was dangerously close to suffering type 2 diabetes, despite her heroic efforts with diet and exercise. She was devastated, and terrified to even think about the future. Just the week before, she'd been daydreaming with our daughter about what her perfect high school graduation day would look like. Now, all of a sudden, she wondered if she'd even be there for it, even though it was only a couple short years away. I could see she was ready to break. Yo-yo weight loss and the emotional roller coaster of hope and despair made her feel helpless and hopeless. And every high-priced weight loss system and supplement let her down again and again. Maybe you felt something similar. Listen, both of us used to scoff at the idea that staying lean and healthy gets harder after 40 years old. Yet the reality is, both of us began to struggle when we hit 40. And we tried everything to beat back the creeping weight gain. On top of the popular methods like low carb, low fat, paleo, and calorie counting, we even tried fancy diets like Dr. Bernstein, Atkins, Weight Watchers, Herbal Magic, and Jenny Craig. Nothing worked. Worse, most of the diets we tried ended up in uncontrollable binging. In fact, every single diet she ended up weighing more than when she started. These extreme diets were putting her body into shock mode, and her body's stress reaction was actually causing rebound weight gain and forcing her to actually put on a bit of extra weight as a protective mechanism. Now, imagine being fully immersed in health and fitness like I was, and not being able to help the person you love most. It was devastating, and I knew my wife was at the breaking point. Then one day, the solution hit me right in the face, literally. I was still working SWAT at the time, and I got an urgent call to a hostage rescue situation. The armed suspect was on the top floor of the apartment building. I was deployed as a rappel master for the operation, so our team was set up on the roof. When it was go time, my team rappelled just over the edge of the rooftop, our lives literally dangling from a single rappel line. We broke the 3 top windows and inserted 3 OC pepper spray grenades. We also put one directly onto the deck so the suspect wouldn't come running out and try to escape. Or worse, throw one of the hostages out, possibly killing them. Well, no plan survives first contact. As luck would have it, the wind blew a massive cloud of pepper spray right back into our faces. But we had a job to do, and we got the bad guy. However, I was left coughing and sniffling for hours after the mission. Yet more than that, I felt like my body was on fire inside. I could feel the heat radiating off me like a furnace. I was almost able to picture body fat melting away inside me, which is when my inspiration hit me. If the spice oleoresin capsicum, the OC used in the grenades, could have such an intense effect on my body heat, what could it do to burn belly fat without exercise? What I discovered was nothing short of shocking. When I started researching other compounds in the same family as OC, I knew I had stumbled onto something exciting, which eventually led to the simple protocol of weight loss strategies that helped my wife finally lose all 23 pounds in only 21 days, without ever feeling hungry or working out. And I'm going to share the 3 most important tips with you in a minute. You'll use these quick daily tricks to instantly turn up the heat on your fat-burning metabolism. Stay full and satisfied all day long while rapidly losing weight. Rewire your fat loss hormones to burn fat without exercise. And even turn your bad fat into good fat, which I'll explain in a minute. First, I want to tell you about my friend John. He's a truck driver, and we hadn't seen him for about a month when he came over to the house. His jaw dropped when he saw my wife. She had just finished the new protocol, and she was 23 pounds lighter than the last time he saw her. Yet that wasn't even what he noticed first. She was clearly full of energy, and her eyes seemed to shine with vitality. "Wow, you look amazing," was all he could say. He told her that even her hair seemed thicker, fuller, and more shiny than the last time he saw her, and that it seemed like her skin looked smoother, which was weird because usually John never notices stuff like that. Secretly, my wife was thrilled. You see, she'd been thinking the same thing, but didn't want to admit it to herself because she thought maybe it was just wishful thinking. However, the truth was,